Now at 5, the Jasper County Courthouse in Carthage is cleaning up after a frozen pipe bursts. Plus, we're going to hear from a Southwest Missouri school about how they determine when to declare a snow day or AMI day. And
lawmakers are sprinting to pass a stopgap spending bill to avert a federal government shutdown. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill as the move allows Congress to hammer out a long-term budget.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Water everywhere. A burst pipe at the Jasper County Courthouse in Carthage shuts down offices and causes extensive damage to that historic building. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Elected officials are assessing the damage. That pipe burst around 6 yesterday evening after business hours. County officials say the rupture went unnoticed for a prolonged period of time. The fire and sheriff's departments both responded, and a county official says when they arrived, they found ankle-deep water in the road. Crews quickly shut off both the water and power to that building. Offices on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st floors have extensive damage. ServPro workers arrived within an hour of first responders and began cleaning up the mess. The workers are also at the courthouse and have been for most of the day.
We can't do anything until we put it all back together again. That's going to take a little bit of time here in Carthage, and we'll proceed with that as soon as we can. But this is the morning after. We're still sorting through some of this stuff. Already talked to a contractor, already talked to our IT people, already talked to our furniture people. We've had discussions already, but we're just not there yet.
People seeking to visit the assessors or collector's offices will be unable to do so until early next week, and then they're going to have to visit the Joplin office once power to the server is restored. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, we've definitely had a couple days that we've gotten above freezing yesterday and then again today, and that's where we are sitting outside for us right now. We have partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are hovering near 40 degrees, but that Arctic air is going to rush right back in later on tonight. 39 Nevada, 39 in Neosho, 43 in Parsons, but look at this. It's 19 Lincoln, 7 in Sioux Falls, so all this Arctic air is going to slide back in as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight, so it's going to get cold again. We also have wind chill advisories in effect due to the northerly winds, which are going to start to pick up as we go through the overnight hours. So wind chill advisories all the way until the noon hour on Saturday. Of course, I'm going to let you know what you're going to have at your house here in just a bit.
See you soon. Some local schools are seeing students for the first time today since the winter weather hit the 4 states so hard. While some districts used snow days, others also took advantage of AMI days. That stands for Alternative Method of Instruction, which means students are studying from home. Carthage schools, for example, had 1 snow day and used 2 AMI days.
Well, I think the concept was born during the pandemic, but I also think that just now that the technology is there for a lot of schools and that kids have the ability to learn from home, virtually, I think that it's an opportunity now that the state has implemented.
If it's too cold outside, I don't like staying out there for very long, so it's nice to have something to come inside and do when you're not outside doing stuff.
Not every district in the area used AMI days. Carl Junction schools, for example, chose not to use them. We tried reaching out to that district, but they were not available for interviews today. City of Parsons, Kansas is warning residents about unsafe drinking water. Officials say the water system violated a drinking water standard by having high levels of haloacetic acids, which are used as disinfectant in the water system. They say there's no immediate risk to the public, but if the high levels are consumed over a long period of time, that could increase the risk of cancer. The city and KDHE are investigating the issue and how to solve it. Congress has voted to avoid a partial government shutdown, which was set to take effect at 12:01 a.m. Saturday morning. But the reprieve is only temporary, and there's still work to do to come to an agreement on a long-term spending plan. Skyler Henry has more details now from Capitol Hill.
The House and Senate have passed a short-term spending bill, which will keep the government open for the next 2 months.
Because both sides have worked together, the government will stay open, services will not be disrupted, we will avoid a needless disaster.
Some on the right voted against the short-term plan, meaning House Speaker Mike Johnson needed help from House Democrats to pass the bill.
We're going to fund those open borders. We're going to fund the United Nations. We're going to fund the World Health Organization. We're going to fund UNRWA to give money to the Palestinians that gets to Hamas. And we're going to go campaign against those things, but we're going to fund them.
Passing the short-term bill gives Democrat and Republican negotiators more time to work on the bigger spending bill, which includes strengthening border security in exchange for more aid for Israel and Ukraine.
I'm engaged right now 24/7 in trying to land the border provisions of the agreement.
Some House Republicans are strongly resisting aid for Ukraine, but other GOP members say it's critical.
This is about ending Putin. And everybody needs to understand if we don't, those who choose not to own what I think will be the worst decision that they've made in their lives.
Lawmakers rush to pass the bill before another snowstorm hits the nation's capital. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
That bill now goes to President Biden's desk for his signature. The campaign race in New Hampshire is shaping up to be that two-person contest that Nikki Haley has been asking for with Donald Trump. Haley hopes to cut into Trump's lead, despite new polling showing her down by more than a dozen points. In the meantime, a super PAC supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is laying off staff as he shifts resources to the next primary in South Carolina. A newly released report from the Justice Department finds the emergency response to the 2022 school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, was a failure. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed inside Robb Elementary, while hundreds of law enforcement officers waited outside. The review says responding officers inside the school should have gone into classrooms to stop the shooter. Investigators place much of the blame on the school district's former police chief, Pete Arredondo's lack of leadership. Still ahead, how a study used twins to examine the benefits of a vegan diet. Plus, what a new study shows about the connection between abortion accessibility and infant mortality. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, infant mortality is higher in states where abortion access has been restricted. New research by the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found a 16% increase in the infant mortality rates in states with the most restrictive abortion laws. The study's authors say limiting access to abortion has had an impact on not just the health of mothers, but also their infants, especially among low-income families. Identical twins were used for a new study showing the health benefits of a vegan diet. The study, which was published in JAMA Network Open, found a vegan diet improves cardiovascular health. Tanya Bacchus has that story.
Rosalind Morehouse and Carolyn Sadeko sacrificed their diets for research.
My uniqueness is tethered to the fact that there's someone else who is genetically the same as me.
They were just one set of 22 identical twins who Stanford researchers studied for 8 weeks, comparing vegan and omnivore diets. Carolyn was randomly selected as the vegan.
It was challenging, just as I had expected.
Both diets were healthy, full of vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and void of starches and refined sugars. The vegan diet had no animal products. The omnivore included chicken, fish, eggs, cheese, dairy, and other animal-sourced food.
They made really significant changes in a number of nutrients, a number of foods, even the omnivores.
Christopher Gartner is a nutrition scientist at Stanford University and the lead author of the study. He found vegan eaters saw the most improvement to their cardiovascular health.
That the LDL cholesterol dropped by 14 milligrams per deciliter, which was more than a 10% drop. They didn't have high insulin levels to begin with, but they dropped in the vegan group, and they lost a little bit of weight.
Carolyn and Rosalind say both diets help change their eating habits.
I feel even more empowered to say, of all these things I can choose, I'm going to choose the healthier option or the plant-forward option.
Gartner says even a nudge in the plant-based direction can improve health. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A Netflix show documenting that study is now in the works. Hey, you don't have to do only cardio to improve your heart health. A study by Iowa State University found people who do half aerobic workouts like running and half strength training get the same cardiovascular benefits as people who do only the aerobic exercise. Therapy is just as effective as antidepressants in treating depression in heart failure patients. Research by investigators at Cedars-Sinai found patients recovering from heart failure who tried therapy alone had the same benefit as patients who tried antidepressant medication alone. About half of all heart failure patients experience symptoms of depression. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, some students applying for federal aid have been experiencing problems with the government's new form.
Plus, the Arctic air is returning for us tonight. We're going to look at those details coming up next. Not bad outside for us today as we had high temperatures right around 40 degrees, so it actually felt pretty good. We melted off pretty much the rest of the snow across the region, had quite a bit of sunshine as well. However, colder Arctic air is heading back down south toward us as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Those temperatures are really going to plummet once again, but it looks good right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, look at our temps. Most of us upper 30s to lower 40s across the region, so it actually feels pretty good. However, look at the Arctic air. It's -1 Minot, it's 7 in Rapid City, 19 in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's down to 33 in Kansas City. So this cold Arctic air is surging back toward the south, and with the wind, we get wind chill advisories once again until about the noon hour on Saturday, as it's going to be breezy with that cold Arctic air. Not much of a wind right now, but these will start to pick up as we go through the overnight hours. We're going to have gusts right around 30 miles per hour. They back down to about 15 to 20 as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow, and still it stays breezy all the way through the daytime hours on Saturday. So that means our wind chill values are going to be going down as well. So by morning, it's going to feel like -15-ish when you head out the door. So very low wind chills, again, very similar to what we had earlier this week. Even as we get into the afternoon, wind chill values sitting near 0 throughout most of the day. Tomorrow night, they drop back near -15 once again, and then on Saturday, they start to go up a little bit more as we'll feel about 5 degrees across the region. We do have some clouds kind of shooting through. We've had some light snow to our north, Omaha, St. Joe, Kansas City, all the way back through northeastern parts of Kansas. This is going to slide into central Missouri, but the southern edge could clip some of our northern counties, so you will get some light snow. Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, everybody else, just a few flurries as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Here's our next storm system. This system will start to affect us Sunday night into Monday morning. All right, some light snow showers late this evening, clouds and flurries. We back down about 8 for an overnight low. As we go through the morning hours, northerly winds about 15 by noon. I think most of us upper teens to near 20 for an afternoon high. So it's going to be a cold Friday. Tomorrow night, we back down actual temperature 3, 4, 5 degrees. So very cold start Saturday, and then Saturday afternoon, mostly sunny skies will make it up to about 20, 21, 22 degrees for an afternoon high. So the next couple days, definitely on the cold side. 9 a.m., 10, 13 by 11, 16 by 1, 18 by 3 p.m., Arctic air in place. It doesn't stick around too long. We get back to 38 on Sunday, 41 on Monday with rain chances Monday, Tuesday, really most of next week, and high temps into the 40s is going to feel a lot better than what we have seen this week.
Yeah, just got to get through another night of single-digit temperatures.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, the latest jobs report from the Labor Department. Topping today's Consumer Watch, we don't yet know the local impact, but Leggett & Platt is restructuring and expects to eliminate 900 to 1,100 jobs and close at least 15 facilities. The manufacturing company, headquartered in Carthage, produces components for use in bedding, furniture, seating, homes, offices, airplanes, and vehicles. The company approved a restructuring plan but has not yet said what specific facilities will close. First-time claims for unemployment have dropped to the lowest since September of 2022. That's according to data released today from the Department of Labor. There were an estimated 187,000 initial claims at the end of last week. That's a drop of 16,000 from the prior week. Today's report also showed continuing claims are at their lowest level since October. They decreased by 26,000 in the week ending January 6th. College students looking to apply for federal student aid have a new form to fill out. The government revamped the form to simplify it, but the launch has not been simple. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger explains.
A new version of the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, launched just over 2 weeks ago. At first, parents and students complained they couldn't access the document on the studentaid.gov site. But the government says things have improved and more than 1 million people have signed up. The new form is supposed to be easier and much faster to complete for those attending college between July 1st, 2024 and June 30th, 2025. Separately, the Biden administration provided an update on student loan relief for certain borrowers. Under the so-called SAVE plan, those who took out $12,000 or less in loans and who have been in repayment for 10 years are eligible to get their remaining student debt canceled. That process will start next month, 6 months ahead of schedule. To find out if you're eligible, you must sign up for the SAVE plan at studentaid.gov. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The new FAFSA form expands eligibility for federal student aid, including Pell Grants. Cold weather gripping the country is causing headaches for some Americans with electric vehicles. Seems some EV drivers in the Midwest and Southwest became stranded in the cold this week due to dead batteries and malfunctioning charging stations. Experts say temperatures lower than 2 degrees might reduce the range of an EV by up to 40%.
Electric vehicles will use more electricity for providing the heat for comfort of the occupants, but also battery, electrochemistry, chemistry, and physics all go slower when the temperatures go low, and it's exponentially dependent upon temperature. So if temperatures drop 10 degrees, the process...
EV drivers are encouraged to keep their vehicles on a charger and out of the bitter cold for long periods of time. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, what's at stake for America's shrimping industry facing cheap foreign competition? Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the cleanup at the Jasper County Courthouse after that pipe burst created a big mess. Plus, how the Tax Transparency Act is impacting small businesses in Southwest Missouri. And 2 student athletes at Northeast High School in Arma signed their letters of intent to play at the college level. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Burt's Bees and Hidden Valley Ranch are teaming up for a whole line of lip balms featuring the flavors you usually find in a basket of chicken wings. Those flavors include Hidden Valley Ranch, buffalo sauce, crunchy celery, and fresh carrot. Yeah, we're talking about lip balm here. The collaboration started as a joke a couple of years ago when fans went wild over an April Fool's post on social media. Burt says the line is available only while supplies last. Don't know how many they're going to make. Don't know how long the supplies will last. I don't think it's going to be a big rush.
No, it doesn't sound very good, to be honest.
No, it doesn't at all. The weather doesn't look great over the next.
No, it's going to cool right back down. Temperatures tonight down into single digits. Only 20 for a high tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We'll see you at 6. Let's make it a great evening.